Would you rather be Rakhmonov, 18-0 all finishes, or would you rather be Usman, which isn't unblemished, but world champion? Or would you rather be Lal, also not unblemished, but reigning world champion? I mean, which would you rather be? It's not the world's easiest question, right? Like 18-0 all finishes, you're going to be remembered. When Harkness is writing this piece, he's bringing around that Blahal would like Kamaru Usman to face Rakhmonov to find out a real and true number one contender. That is Blahal's words. And Blahal is on trial, by the way. He's knee-deep in paperwork and legal fees. There's a gentleman in England, it's an international trial, so hold this. There's a gentleman in England named Leon Edwards that's accusing Blahal of jumping him, of beating him up and stealing his gold. He's got it was a golden belt, and he took it, and it's a whole thing. But apparently there's video footage and there's witnesses. It's a whole thing, and so Blahal's jammed up in that, trying to get the Sugar State Athletic Commission involved. I don't want to go down that road. How ridiculous, right? That's fun, though. That is so ridiculous, and it's funny. You know what it does? It brings Leon back in. It's very strange that we are in a threesome here. It is very strange that we are in a threesome, one of which my favorite pick, being Kamaru Usman, has 2 losses to Leon, who is not part of the threesome. It's a very interesting thing, and that's only because Leon didn't know how. Leon is just not equipped with that skill. He's just not. If he was, he'd hold the damn trial, he'd bring the jury forward, he'd even bring the judge forward that made a ruling in his favor, and he would take his belt back. I mean, right, but he's just not equipped with this. So, I like the idea of Kamaru Usman versus Blahal. Now, I like that. I was also under the impression that Rakhmonov was hurt. I was told that he was hurt. I know for sure the UFC did not like his fight against Wonder Boy. I did like it. And he got a finish over a guy that I really respect, and he did it. I'm talking Rakhmonov on 1 foot. I do think that would qualify you for a world title, but I can just share with you that I know the UFC did not at one point, and nothing has changed since that point. So it is a live dog to be discussing Kamaru in that situation. And Ryan doesn't say this perfectly clear, but he gives you the evidence to come to the conclusion that Blahal is doing exactly what he should be doing, which is trying to get an easier fight than a harder fight. So you put these two in there. You put these two knuckleheads, Kamaru Usman and Rakhmonov in there. They're not coming out the same. And whoever wins, by the way, doesn't come out better. This isn't like soccer, where the more games you get, the more time on the field, more times kicking at the goalie, the better you get. It's not like that in fighting. You get worse. You get a little duller. You leave a little piece of yourself out there. You start to learn that your naiveness goes away. Your vulnerabilities start to show. You were never worried about having that kind of pain while dealing with that kind of exhaustion because you never had before. Now you've discovered it, right? It's an interesting thing. And Blahal is right on the money to try to put those two guys together. And it's a different spot. First off, Blahal's got a trial going on. And second, Kamaru called for Rakhmonov. Rakhmonov accepted the call from Kamaru. Now those two are acting like they did not do that, because they're realizing, hey, I don't have to go through you. I can go straight to him, which is correct. They were $1 short and a day late. That's okay. They still got there, but I'm just sharing the scenario, right? It's not quite the same. Blahal turning it down, it's not quite the same. Remember when Strickland had to do this? Strickland is supposed to take on the winner of Kamaru Usman and Chimaev. And Strickland's looking around going, that's not right. Like, Kamaru, if I get in there with Kamaru, he'll have had 1 fight in this division and became a number 1 contender. I had to have 9 fights in the division. And as far as Chimaev goes, and right, I mean, and Strickland was laying this out, but his final analysis is, I will do it. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right. I'll do it, though. Chimaev ended up having the injured hand, and Duplessis comes in. And what I'm just sharing for you is you can do the same thing as somebody else, but get a different result. It matters the order. The order of this. If Blahal had turned it down from Jump Street, it's totally different than those two guys going after each other and starting that. and getting a lot of us interested. If you do it Blahal's way, you get 2 fights. If you do it their way, you get 1. Like, I love the idea of Usman versus Rakhmonov. But if Rakhmonov draws into Blahal and doesn't win, or Usman draws into Blahal and doesn't win, then that fight between Usman and Rakhmonov never takes place. If you do it Blahal's way, you're guaranteed 2 fights. You just don't know who it's going to be against. You've got the right 3 guys. They're going to fight. Winner draws into this. You're guaranteed both of those fights. To get both of the fights in the other scenario would be outcome-based. This way, outcomes don't matter. And I'm only sharing that there's a conversation, right? There's a very meaningful thing here. I don't think that Rakhmonov or Kamaru Usman should come off this idea. I don't think they're going to fight each other. I think one of them is going to get the Muhammad fight. If you listen to Ryan Harkness, the wind is blowing fairly heavily in the direction of Rakhmonov, as in like 100%. That the UFC isn't really weighing options here. They want Rakhmonov. If you listen to Rakhmonov, he claims that he was offered Muhammad, but he claimed this in a very light way, like he set it down partway through an interview. Whereas if that in fact happened, that should have been his driving force. It should be the entire reason he called Danny and said, get me an interview. I need to get this message out. And it wasn't that way. So I'm into the whole thing. I like the whole trilogy. But if we're in agreement that it's these 3 guys, if we're not in agreement to that, then say your piece now. Because if we are in agreement, then the guy that isn't chosen, if we are in fact down to 3, that guy defaults to the number 1 contender. Which would mean Kamaru Usman, with how they fight, those 2 go fight, Kamaru takes on the winner. And I think it's important that he drive that home, and I don't think there's a 70-pounder out there right now that is going to come in and steal that thunder. The only one that could, by the numbers, is Leon. And Leon is just not equipped with that. He's just not. I want Kamaru to be ready. I mean, they got 2 choices with Kamaru. And he needs to make this perfectly clear that his next fight is for the belt. He doesn't know if he's going to go in with Blahal right away or if it's going to be the winner of Blahal and Rakhmonov, and he's got to let that play out, but that it's very clear we're down to 3. I'll go in now, I'll go in later, I'll go with this guy, but he needs to make that very clear. And I think that it would be obvious for Rakhmonov if Kamaru was to draw the fight. I think we would all agree Rakhmonov is going to be next. The same respect has to be showed for Kamaru, unless you don't believe he's in the 3. But if you don't believe he's in the 3, you got to say it now. You can't say it later. Are you with me on this? Can I get a hell yeah?